Welcome to Interro Bites. These are 15-minute videos taken from my long-form live streams. If you want to see the full video or more, subscribe to Dacquisto and check out the playlists on my main page. Thanks for being here. Enjoy.
So when I was talking to her about that, I was struck by how cold and callous and basically sociopathic she was. Here I am, I was crying, I was very upset, and I said, you're not a sociopath, you must feel bad about this on a certain level. And she goes, I don't know if I'm a sociopath, I don't feel bad about any of this.
Has there ever been a confusion about, okay, Jeff, I'll just be simple, elementary terms. Jeff loves Wendi. Wendi loves everybody. You see, I'm getting at is
no, that's what.
What you might have noticed, there was a little edit in there. Mentour Lawyer did chop this video up a little bit to take out some dead space, but I'm not exactly sure how that last sentence transitioned into this one. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm so happy you're enjoying this content. I am really enjoying doing it. And I took a look at Charlie Adelson briefly, his Arthur hearing, and then his last hearing, case management hearing, just a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I was really noticing a lot about his demeanor that changed. And I was wondering if you wanted me to take a look at that with you guys, kind of a side-by-side comparison. I'm not sure how I can do it side-by-side, putting the videos up together, or just one right after another, but I'm kind of interested in doing that. So let me know if that's of interest to you. And by the way, is anyone out there following the Idaho quadruple murder case? Because there was an arrest made today, which was big news. And I'm just curious if anyone else is following that. And when I first came on, I also shared some information that was shared by Gabby Petito's lawyer about the potential, I don't know if it was an accusation, I guess, that if this happened in the courtroom or not. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I did read the headline, and it was from Fox News, so it wasn't from some random YouTuber or anything like that. Fox News was reporting that Gabby Petito's lawyer said that Brian Laundrie's mother helped him by giving him a shovel to bury Gabby's body. So, but I don't think her body was buried, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but there's a lot of chatter about that right now too. Okay, back to Jeffrey LaCasse. Sorry about that.
You understood her that she was supposed to be strictly with you?
Yeah, just from March on. Before that, I knew what she was doing before that. March on, I've been to 50 dinner parties where I'm introduced as her boyfriend. She took me out in public constantly. Let's continue.
Give me a minute here.
Yeah.
You need something?
If you have a water, I'm going to drive it. I appreciate
it. I want to just say here, I'm a little confused because he said she only called him officially her boyfriend for a month, but he's saying here that she referred to him as boyfriend for a much longer period of time. So I'll have to look into, not that it matters that much, but I just noticed that. Checking out his notes, making sure he's covered everything. I love that he brought notes. He was very focused and organized, and he did everything chronologically, so it was super helpful. Speeding it up while he's not speaking. I'm not sure exactly why Detective Isom left just then, but that was kind of
He's a very interesting guy. You may have known guys like this. I know some in Tallahassee. He's friends with
okay. So this was edited slightly, so I didn't hear him coming back in. So let me put this back. And Isom's coming back in.
I was 90% sure when I talked to you guys in July. I was waiting for you to catch somebody because then maybe I'm crazy, right? So then when Myron May happened, I thought maybe it was Myron May. I'm just wondering. At this point, I'm pretty confident.
This is an email that I think you're referring to. I'll give you an opportunity to read it.
Yep, that's the one she sent.
Okay, so this is probably why Detective Isom left the room, was to get this email.
That's where I'm going right now.
Okay, so this is July 15th. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Okay, July 15th is the Tuesday before.
The thing she told me about Charlie would have been the night before this.
Okay, so we are on the 14th.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, it would have been Monday, July 14th. That's actually just where I was going for right now.
Go ahead.
So she goes to South Florida for 2 weeks. We barely talk. It's hard on both of us. You guys have emails. It's bullshit romance stuff going back and forth. We had one long conversation and decided to patch things up. She sounded very calm in this conversation.
These are phone conversations?
Yeah.
She's in Miami.
She's in Miami. And while she's in Miami, she always says, she would just disappear for 14 days. I wondered if there was another man down in Miami too. It seemed plausible because her parents take care of the kids. It doesn't make sense how busy she is. Come back Monday, we go on a date. That's the 14th. That's the night that.
Okay, you're on the date.
Yeah.
So he's saying it doesn't make sense. Just by the way, just want to point out what he said there. He said it doesn't make sense that his parents would always take care of the kids when she was down there, because she has basically, he said, considering how busy she is, meaning what he meant by that, because he discussed it earlier, that she's not busy. She has a ton of time on her hands.
Here.
Yeah, we're on a date here. It was real awkward. And she was a little strange, but it was overall a pretty positive date.
That's on the 14th.
It's on the 14th. So
that you're having this conversation during or after your date?
After the date.
Back at her house?
Back at her house.
Okay.
Back at her house. And didn't have wine that night. She was sick. She got back cold. She was really stressed out and sick. So the next day is Tuesday the 15th. Wake up in the morning. I call Wendi. And
so this was the one time we heard Jeffrey actually say that when Wendi came back from Miami, she was sick. Now, we talked about how Wendi said she had a sore throat, so she couldn't speak with Dan Markel. However, she spoke with everybody else and had dates with Wendi. So I'm not sure how sick she was or if that involved a sore throat, but I just wanted to point that out. In all fairness, he did mention that here.
I told investigator held this. I don't know if there's anything here, but it was kind of bizarre. Talk early in the morning, maybe 9 or 10, and I said, I'd like to see you today. I was a little encouraged. And she said, yeah, I'd love to see you. And she'd walked herself out of her house. I said, well, come hang out with you. She said, I'd love to spend time with you. And then I waited. 3 hours later, I get a phone call, and she's like, actually, I got into the house. Let's not do the afternoon. Let's just go to yoga together. So
where?
Yoga.
Okay.
So I went to yoga together. It was awkward as hell. She was cold. She was done. I could tell. So I'm sitting there yoga going, okay, this is over. Walk her to her car at the end of yoga, and I say, I love you. I don't know what else to say. She goes, I know. I was like, well, that's not ideal.
So I love you, and she goes, I know.
Yeah.
Of course you do. I'm a goddess.
I'm a narcissist.
Yeah.
So I said, I literally went, okay. And I just turned to leave, and this, all hail it is, but I want to say it again. She goes, hey, Jeff, are you still going to Tennessee on Friday? And I say, I'm thinking, why the hell does she care? It's obvious.
You're walking away, you're separating?
Yeah, I went 10 paces away from her, and she says, hey, Jeff, are you still going to Tennessee on Friday? And I say, I lie. And I say, actually, it's up in the air, because we talked about if we broke up, I should come over and say goodbye to the kids. I was hoping she'd invite me over. And she said, well, she was deeply interested. She asked me 3 or 4 questions.
But this is after this, right?
It is after. No, that's that. I get this email at the end of the night. She goes home and she sends this email. This is after this. This is after the conversation. The conversation I'm telling you about right now happens an hour before I get this email.
An hour before. Okay, so we're still Tuesday the 15th?
Yeah, at 7:00 at night.
Okay.
Tuesday, the 15th. of July 2014. This is where the Tuesday comes in. So everyone, again, he may have changed his testimony, but this is what he said here.
Okay.
So she asked 3 or 4 questions about under what circumstances would I go? Why am I thinking about not going? She seemed deeply interested in what I'm going to do on Friday. This was bizarre. I was like, well, whatever. Got home, got this email. What was so strange about this? He had just spent 16 days away from each other, thinking about things. Then I get this. I told her, if you don't want to do this, send me a text and say I can't do this anymore. Why would you string me along?
And if you remember, when Detective Isom was with Wendi Adelson in her police interview, he actually asked her that question. Well, weren't you already apart for 2 weeks? Because she had written in her diary that she was going to talk to Jeff the Monday after Dan's murder. And she said, well, she wanted to know what it felt like to be in Tallahassee and whether she would miss him, not just miss him when she was in Miami or something along those lines. So Detective Isom really did have the presence of mind to ask Wendi about that. And it's coming up here in 2015 with Jeffrey, his side of it.
For a week. It's real strange.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. And I'm going to read this aloud. So if there's something, it pains me to be writing this to you now, but here we go. I need some space to clear my head and to figure out how to move forward. I am heartsick, but my head and my heart are having 2 different reactions to us being together, and I can't reconcile them to be in this like you would want me to be. So she's saying you're coming on too strong, basically, is what I'm reading. You want a full commitment.
No, that's not how I read it, but
that's how I'm looking at it. Is that not true? Do you want a full commitment from her?
I wanted to continue the relationship, yes.
Okay.
But we had discussed just breaking up. We just spent 16 days apart thinking about things.
Right. You're 16 days apart. Then you go on a date on the 14th. She makes the comment about her brother was looked into killing Danny the previous summer, which would have been summer of 2013. She didn't specify a month. You didn't.
They had the date on the 14th.
Question her any more about that.
I was too focused on this stuff. Yeah, I didn't.
No, you make that when she's making this statement on the 4th. You're saying the Monday.
Yeah.
Which would be the 14th.
Yeah.
When she makes this statement that Charlie had looked into having someone do this for 15, it was going to cost. Hey, how much does it cost to kill this guy? And the answer that Charlie gets is $15,000. He shares that with his sister.
Yes.
Okay. And then she says that to you. And that was in the context preceding that conversation was basically, what do you want to do? You don't like it here. I'm talking in your.
That was part of the conversation. There was constant conversation about Danny is awful at Tallahassee sucks. That's not all she ever said.
And I can't do anything. I'm stuck here because, I guess she got denied relocating with the kids.
She did.
And she's.
Well, I guess she got denied relocating with the kids. Ding, 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 ding. Also, who would want to date someone who's constantly complaining about where they live and their ex? I mean, that must have been a really fun relationship.
Saying I'm stuck here unless something happens to Danny, what you're getting at.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at.
And then she just spills this out.
Yeah. And then I think, by the way, she just went to the bathroom. I think there was something like that where
But you're saying that, there was no more conversation about this. Is huge to me. This is like, my brother's already checked into it and it costs this much.
Yeah,
Is it like this is still available and open, or 15 grand is too much we're too cheap?
His family's rich. I mean, that's nothing.
No, I know, but
what's that petty cash in his office?
Okay, but was this like this option still available? Is that how it was?
It's interesting right there. Not sure if you heard this or not, but Jeff LaCasse said that after he said this family is rich, he said he'd have that in petty cash at his office, referring to Charlie Adelson, only thinking that he meant Charlie, not Harvey, because he's only up until now spoken about Charlie. So I thought that was interesting that he would have enough intimate knowledge to have that come to mind about his petty cash in his office.